the fuck are you, and why are you talking to me? Did the feds send you?
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lpearly Show. If you can read, then I can assume you've gathered here for another episode of New Vegas Smoke Spots. But we're going to be doing something just a little bit different today. Today we're going to be going over just a few smoke spots from the recently released Long 15 mod. Long 15 is a massive lore-friendly quest and land expansion mod by none other than the Long 15 team. I won't be spoiling any main quest lines for Long 15, but there may be some side content spoilers, so be warned. I personally haven't played through the main quest lines of Long 15 and have mostly just been exploring the map and doing side quests, but I've been really impressed with what I've seen so far. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description to their Nexus mods and their IMDb where you guys can rate the mod so you guys can support them on there. I would definitely recommend supporting the mod creators if you enjoyed this video. Today's video isn't gonna have a ton of smoke spots in the interest of not spoiling the mod for anybody that wants to play it and hasn't gotten the chance to play it yet. The groove I've found with these videos is usually to make them right after I've done a playthrough of whatever area I'm trying to make a video about. So next up, I'm going to be doing some Fallout 3 stuff, most likely some Fallout 3 DLCs. I'll make a Lonesome Road video eventually, probably. Lonesome Road is my least favorite DLC, but it feels kind of wrong to make videos about every single DLC besides Lonesome Road. Anyways, if you guys want to watch me play through Fallout 3 or any other games, I would recommend checking out my Twitch with the text on screen or the link in the description. But enough shilling, let's go ahead and get on to what you all are here for. New Vegas Long 15 smoke spots. First up on the list today is going to be the Zaytan Jerky Market in Baker. One look at this place and you can realize why it would be on a list like this. The outside really dials up the retro futurism aspects that Fallout is known for, and the inside of it makes me feel like I'm in the inside of a video rental store that's a few years away from closing. Remember video rental stores? Not even Blockbuster, just video rental stores. I think my audience is old enough to remember video rental stores. Drop a comment about what your go-to combo at the video rental store was. My parents would let me get a Sunkist soda, a Crunch Bar, and a PS2 or a Wii game. I think everything has been downhill since then. I may never be able to light up inside of my closed hometown rural movie gallery store, but the Zaytan Jerky Market is just gonna have to do. It's a nice, chill vibe in here. Ignoring the fact that your smoke mate would probably be Bunker Bob, although I like to imagine that you could pass a pretty low-level speech check to tell him the weed is laced by the federal government and you're smoking it all and not passing it in an effort to save his life. If you're not actively talking to Bob, he doesn't really talk a lot. The unnamed NPCs chatter more with each other if you stand here in the actual game long enough.
What's up?
You'd imagine Bunker Bob would be barking at everyone. Either way, Zaytan Jerky Shop is a top place to smoke out of this world weed in the Long 15. Snacks, drinks, beef jerky. They've even got these little TVs here that you can turn your brain off and watch. Would a TV be considered novel for a wastelander? Screens are pretty rare in the wasteland considering how Pip-Boys and Securitrons are treated. I'm just wondering if a local prospector would walk in here and be hypnotized by the TV like a toddler is by Coco Melon. Following the Zaytan Jerky Market is going to be this abandoned truck on the Long 15 highway. I'll show this location on my map for you all since it is unmarked, but it is technically considered in Fort Weston, as you all can see by my save file here. So sitting in the back of this truck is going to give you an excellent view of the entirety of the Long 15, including the town of Baker, Casa Stanton, Hightower Mansion, and even the Mojave Outpost statue, which is an excellent touch by the developers. I'm not calling it the Reunification Monument, fuck you, who calls it that? My point here is that the abandoned truck has an amazing spot to sit down, you've got an amazing view, you can even watch caravans sort of depart and walk out. Unfortunately, NCR troopers do patrol this bridge sometimes, so I imagine getting busted would be a bit of a vibe killer. Although I don't know if the NCR would give a shit if you were smoking doinks and Amish. The Mojave is pretty much implied to be the NCR's in-universe equivalent to the Vietnam War, where NCR draftees are poor kids plucked away from their lives to fight a war of ideologies, so I can't imagine any of them are too eager to bust a bunch of locals smoking pot.
Recent surveys estimate that well over 50% of the soldiers in Vietnam use marijuana.
You get really stoned. Then, who cares about the war?
We're gonna give the abandoned truck a pass on this one, even though you can't find Mew under it. Boo! We're gonna be visiting Casa Stanton next. I don't know what to call this style of architecture besides Mexico in Red Dead 1, but it is a gorgeous house in that style of architecture. There's a few quests you can pick up here, but we're not gonna be getting into that. We're just gonna talk about this sick little patio in the back next to this fountain. That is nice right there. Kick your feet up, get a drink, hell yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like you're able to get into the watchtower of Casa Stanton without no-clipping up there, which is a shame because this would be a great smoke spot to rival the abandoned truck if there was a ladder up here or something. I also wrote this entire section and realized Casa Stanton is kind of like a plantation, so maybe it shouldn't be on the list. This place does have Bear and Stanton faction reps, so be warned. If you're not standing with Stanton, they might just blow your ass away. Next up on our list of places you probably shouldn't smoke in the Long 15 is the Hightower Mansion, specifically the lobby, but also this bar room over here. This is the home of Leland Hightower, so if you have a bad rep with the Bear and Stanton faction, you're not going to be allowed to step foot in here either. Regardless, this lobby is an absolute vibe. With the lighting and the Roman statue and all, y'all can go ahead and fucking shoot me if you're gonna try and shoot me for lighting up in here. This is worth fighting for. Besides, I think smoking a blunt in the pile of rich people corpses would just be even better, right? Oh no, I've killed the most powerful man in the NCR. Shady Sands is a fucking crater. I'm not worried about it, dude. Next up is going to be the Hawaiian King Motel. Specifically, I had the outside pool in mind when I picked this location, but the playroom is also really nice, and it's also 250 caps. You might be confined to the playroom with this absolutely garish wallpaper though, considering there's a veteran out front who's one harmless prank away from opening fire on a civilian. Even worse, there's this guy who will kick you out of the pool if you don't have a pass. Absolutely deplorable. Anyways, if you can manage to avoid all the pitfalls, the Hawaiian King Hotel is a great spot to spark up in the Long 15. Soak up sun by the pool, then head back inside to dry off and pretend to watch a TV show on your unplugged TV set. Cozy. The last spoiler-free location on our list today is going to be the Destroyed Ranch. It's a bit unsettling getting high in a location that is destroyed, with foxes and giant rats having taken over the place, but this overlook with the couch right here is too good of a spot to not put on the list. It looks like whoever was here beforehand has beat us to it. There's an ashtray and a few bottles of whiskeys here. It's a nice little spot for sure. The view's not really anything to write home about, but the couch and the barn environment are pretty cozy and probably relatively safe. There's also a basement in this location, but it's filled with giant rats. It's a musty cellar. It probably smells gross. We're not going to talk about it. Stay up here in the barn house and smoke on the porch loft with me. This sort of position almost makes you wonder how the house was destroyed in the first place. There's probably like a note or something that explains why the ranch was destroyed, but I got too geeked, I couldn't find it. For the next couple of items on our list, I am going to issue just an additional spoiler warning because I do think they are just stuff that is best experienced for yourself the first time you play the mod. So, additional spoiler warning. Yeah, I just didn't want to hold back on the details for these locations, and yeah, you've been warned. The lobotomite tunnel / Z16 lobotomite testing facility was one of my favorite locations in the mod and is also going to make it onto our smoke spot list today. It's great. The beginning, middle, and end I think all have an argument for being on the smoke spot list. The beginning is really cool with the trooper telling you, you know, no, don't go in there, we've lost too many men already. 40 troopers. Very cool. The middle is cool as you start to go deeper in the tunnel and you start to recognize like a lot of the Old World Blues stuff, like the retro futurist 60s sci-fi horror stuff that Old World Blues really prides itself on. And then all of a sudden you're fighting lobotomites as you're looking for these tapes that the NCR soldiers have left. It's really cool. You have like this set piece where you fight all these lobotomites and shit. Cool labs and stuff in the middle, and then at the end you come out at this tunnel and you have this really great view of Baker after you have just fought through all these lobotomites. This is a great view to burn one after all that stress. But yeah, I really love this location. I think it's really cool. A lot of cool spots to explore, a lot of cool spots to spark up in. So definitely had to give the Z16 lobotomite facility a mention, and I did want to give a spoiler warning, you know, so I didn't ruin that experience of finding it for anybody else. Last up on our list is going to be the Mojave Megaphone. Now, I did initially pick this location because it's really close to the Sema Cinder Mine Camp, which has some really nice spots, minus the feral dogs. I also wanted to put it on there just because of the Last Jackal being up there. The Last Jackal is a really cool NPC who's obviously implied to be the last of the Jackal gang members. I just thought that was cool because there are other former Jackals that you can speak to in the mod, which this lady, who I kind of thought her character was strange. You can pause on the screen. I'm not going to explain all of it.
That's so weird. Your hands don't look like this while you're eating your lunch. You must be a liberal sissy. Must be a sissy boy.
But yeah, you can find other former jackals in the mod, so I thought it was cool that there's, you know, just the last jackal. I thought it was cool. I thought the Mojave Megaphone was a cool location, so I was going to include it just based on that initially, but I also found out that there is a real-life mystery behind the megaphone as well. Also, I was going to include it on the list just because I thought it looked like the Quake rocket launcher or the original from TF2. But even if none of that was the case, I would be happy to talk about this one. So anyways, so just for context, the Mojave Megaphone is a real-life structure in the Mojave National Preserve that it is bolted to 2 boulders on top of a hill west of Crucero Road in the Mojave National Preserve, about 14 miles south of I-15. As far as people can tell, it was installed sometime before the 60s, probably around like the 40s or the 50s, by some sort of unknown party. For a while, there was a lot of speculation from people on what this thing was, where it came from, that sort of thing. Some people thought it might have been some kind of military installation due to the bars in the middle that resemble a sight. Other people theorized it was some sort of test siren for incoming raids or natural disasters, like a tornado siren. To add on to this mystery, the massive iron structure that weighed hundreds of pounds was found on top of a hill that was so remote, you would need a 4-wheel drive today to get up there. Today, you need a 4-wheel drive to get up on top of this hill. So how did they get it up there in, you know, 1940, 1950, whenever this thing was put up there? There are a few videos on YouTube about this thing. I would really recommend checking them out. This video, obviously, I'm not going to go really in depth into it on this video, and I would recommend going and checking those out because I am kind of going to spoil the mystery for you. Not to be a spoil sport, but the mystery behind the Mojave Megaphone has more or less kind of been debunked. People have managed to dig up a newspaper article from 1990 where a Bureau of Land Management ranger claims to have interviewed the guy who put it up there, who claims the object is the body of a drum and that he puts animal skins over the opening and hooks up a generator-powered amp to drum on it. To strengthen this theory, people have actually made their way out and attached skins to the thing to presumably use it as a drum. And to explain how we got it up there, he just explained that he had 2 people to get it up there, so well, I guess it really is just that simple. I'm guessing the acoustics on having a giant metal drum megaphone in the middle of the desert is just fucking awesome and too cool to pass up. Somehow I think the real reasoning of 2 dudes hauled this 400-pound piece of shit up onto a hill in the middle of nowhere so they could cover the valley in music is way cooler than any theory about a government raid siren or an alien missile launcher or something. So for that reason, and that reason alone, we are going to close out the list with the Mojave Megaphone as our number 1. Anyways, thank you for watching, see you all next time, and have a Merry Christmas.